Hello there, all Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Welcome back to Radiant Moon Tarot. My name is Victoria, and we have your October 2025 new love reading for all of you singles out there. So if you are single, ready to mingle, this is the reading for you guys. So as we look forward into October, the first thing that we've got going on the 6th of October is Mercury moves into the sign of Scorpio. So this can trigger some deep, intense conversations, some introspection, and your intuition is very much at an all-time high. We also on the same day have a full moon in Aries. This is a culmination of a cycle that was started 6 months ago at the new moon in Aries. And so this can be a time of closure, of letting things go, of healing, as full moons do tend to bring in. It is a little extra powerful on this one because it is a super moon. But full moons can also be where something starts to come to fruition for you. And we are in the harvest season right now in October, where we can reap what we have sown. So there could be a little bit of love and romance in the air for some of you there. On the 13th of October, most significantly for you guys, all right, big turning point for you here in the middle of the month. On the 13th, Venus, your planetary ruler, moves into your sign. This is a beautiful energy, bringing you a lot of love, a lot of potential for new beginnings in your life. And of course, Venus, of course, is our planet of love and new beginnings and fertility and growth, but abundance here as well. So you could really start to feel a big shift in the energy. We also do have on the same day, on the 13th, Pluto turning direct in the sign of Aquarius. Pluto can bring revelations, so there could be a secret that comes to light, something may be revealed to you. Pluto is also our planet of power and transformation, and so this can be where you're feeling more confident, more powerful. And of course, Pluto does represent our fears as well, the things that are in the dark, and so you could be facing your fears and opening yourself up to the possibility of new love, right? Always a little challenging sometimes there to be vulnerable, right? And so this can be a really good turning point for you there. And then of course we have a new moon in your sign on the 21st. This is your astrological new year, and this can be super powerful for you for setting intentions for anything that you're wanting to create in your life, but very specifically for love, because that's what we're here talking about. So really work with that new moon, because of course when we have that new moon, it's a good, powerful time for you, for new things, new people, new manifestations and everything. But with Venus there as well, it's like an extra dose of planetary support. So this can be really wonderful for you. We have hostilities in the reverse, all right? So normally the hostilities card out of this deck is not a good one, right? It's filled with anger and fighting and hostility. But in the reverse, this is a release. This is a letting go. This is a time of healing. And instead of hostile energy, it's peaceful and loving energy here as well. Some of you might be making amends with something from your past, right? That doesn't mean that you're necessarily welcoming a person back in, although that can happen, especially once Pluto goes direct, right? We can get all sorts of interesting things that go on there. But, releasing hostilities and anger and these kind of things can just be part of you and your personal growth towards healing and happiness. And so use that full moon in Aries to really be honest with yourself and really to do a little bit of a deep dive there. Mercury and Scorpio will help you do that as well, whether you want it to or not, right? You probably just have some deep insights and introspection at that time. But this can be a big purge for you, right? Where we're cleansing, we're purging, we're releasing, we're letting go. Some of you may also just have something that gets resolved as well, especially with an ex, especially if you've got any children. Perhaps this is where you do let a certain amount of things go, and you might learn to just kind of coexist and co-parent a little bit better than maybe you had previously. And this can be a big sigh of relief for you, and maybe gives you this little little kind of green light internally, right? That, you know what, I think I'm ready to move forward now, right? We've resolved some issues or just agreed to disagree, and now I'm ready to move on. So again, it can be a little bit of a turning point for you. And of course, whenever we have our astrological new year, it is this big cosmic reset for us, right? Kind of like our calendar new year, we reflect, we kind of go within a little bit, and we think about the things that we don't want to take forward with us into the new year ahead, and we do want to leave certain things behind, right? Because we just don't have room for all of the excess baggage, and we're ready to make room and space and time in our lives for something new. We have attachment here. Okay, card number 5. 5s do represent obstacles and challenges. All right, and with the attachment card, there's something here that's lingering, something here that we need to work through, and we need to cleanse away. All right, so what are you attached to? Are you attached to a specific outcome with love, right? We've got to go with the flow on this one a little bit, right? Especially if you're kind of pigeonholing yourself into an exact certain kind of person with a certain kind of career and maybe a certain hair color or eye color or whatever it happens to be. There's other things that might be a little bit more important, right? Such as qualities that a person may have rather than their physical attributes or what they do for a living. Of course, certain things are important. So we've got to just kind of take that step back and say, what is really important for me? What qualities do I want to attract towards me for a new romantic interest? And what do I need to let go of so that I can just be a little bit more open to different kinds of people? But the attachment card can also represent trying to control something a little bit too much. Going in swinging, right? It's like, I'm not going to date anybody unless they're also interested in this, and this. And while it's good to know what you want, at the same time, sometimes we got to give and take a little bit, right? So just really, kind of think about what the most important things are and, kind of let a few other things go. But there is some sort of lingering energy here that is creating a bit of a challenge to finding new love. And this can be something from your past. This can be some fears, some doubts, some anxieties. This can be just a lack of confidence as well, right? And again, it's scary sometimes to open our heart and be willing to be vulnerable again, and yet that's exactly what you're being called to do. All right, especially as we head into Scorpio season, it does tend to be a little bit intense, but you got to trust your intuition on this as well. Okay, because when you're guided down a garden path, right, there's sometimes green flags and there's sometimes red flags. Our intuition is really what does help us out, right? And looks like a duck, walks like a duck, smells like a duck, right? And we've all been there where we have some situations in our world where we were like, oh man, that was a red flag. I should have paid attention to it. I knew it at the time, right? So we start to kick ourselves a little bit for not paying attention. So this is the time of year where not only is your intuition really going to show you the truth, right? You're also going to listen to it. And so we can kind of release a little bit of fear and doubt as we move forward. Pay attention to the red flags. Well, there you go. All right. The signs are cautioning you. So again, this could be the hostilities in reverse, could be your willingness to say no and to walk away from a connection that doesn't feel right. Right? In the dog-eat-dog world of singles dating scene, there are going to be good fish in the pond and there's going to be not so good fish in the pond. So your ability and your willingness to say no to those things that aren't in alignment with us, or where we see those little red flags, we really got to trust that no, they're not going to get better, most likely. Okay, so if you see something that's like, nope, we're not playing that game, just go walk away. Okay, it is better to be single and happy, right, than stuck or attached to somebody in some unhealthy way when they've got all these red flags. All right, so just be a little bit aware of that. We've got reconciliation here as well. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Now, A few different things when we get this particular card. If you have an ex, and if there is still some good stuff there, sometimes it's a timing issue. Sometimes there's some things going on. Sometimes we're just too young, right? Sometimes we're at just a weird stage in our lives, right? But if there's something worth salvaging and you're both willing to put in the work, right? Pluto going direct in Aquarius can bring someone back from your past, okay? And if there's still some good qualities and good things there, and if you're willing to put down some hostilities, right, and you're willing to work through things, talk things out, be honest and truthful, right, then you may have an opportunity there to rekindle that spark, if that's what you want. But the reconciliation card with someone coming back can also be an opportunity for closure. They don't have to physically come back, right? It could be feelings, it could be memories, right? And with this is your opportunity to have that closure, that final release, so that you can let go, you can release the old attachments, the baggage, and you can move forward, all right? But the reconciliation card can also represent bumping into somebody that there was a spark previously, but nothing ever happened. Nothing got off the ground. Perhaps it was someone that you used to see when you went out for lunch at work. Perhaps it was someone you used to work with. Perhaps it's an old friend. And there was always just something there. And just for whatever reason, time, circumstance, whatever, nothing quite happened. Nothing transpired. So you could have an opportunity here to, revisit something, right? Whether it's just a chance encounter, whether someone calls you up out of the blue, whatever it happens to be, this can be that second chance, right? To, just see where something leads, right? And again, because sometimes, it takes two to tango, and you just never know what was going on with someone else at that time. And maybe it just wasn't the right timing for either of you, and things can come back together in the most interesting and mysterious ways, especially at this time of year. We've got religious factors here as well. All right, your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So either you are looking for somebody that shares your belief systems, whatever that happens to be for you, or whether you meet somebody that maybe has a different kind of belief system, a different kind of upbringing, right? It can be challenging sometimes there, right? Because, if we believe different things, whether it's beliefs on, marriage and family, or whether it's, maybe you grew up, let's say, in organized religion of some kind, and now you're a little bit more on a spiritual path, a little bit more open path, right? These things can sometimes really have an effect and an influence on our on who we're looking for, or on, of course, our differences of opinion and differences of beliefs when we actually do find that somebody, right? So if there's certain belief systems that are very important to you, there are certain places that you can go where you can connect with people who have those same set of values and beliefs than you do, right? So whether it's through maybe church, or maybe it's through a spiritual group, or whatever it happens to be for you, right? These things can be very, very, very important sometimes, but sometimes we can work through our differences, though, right? We can validate each other's beliefs, and honor and respect each other's beliefs, but not necessarily share in them, right? Just kind of depends what they are as to how much of a barrier that may be. We've got the Seven of Wands coming out here for you, and the Seven of Wands is beautiful energy. Number one, it shows that you are feeling more confident. It shows your strength, all right, your power. but it also does show that line in the sand, those boundaries that you may have. So there's certain things that are just a true deal breaker for you. And when we've got that Seven of Wands, it's like, this is my boundary, and I'm willing to stand up for what I believe in. I'm willing to stand up and honor my own boundaries and not let anyone cross them, should they be the ones, should they be, even, doesn't matter how much chemistry there might be, right? There's certain core things that are important, right? The Seven of Wands can also represent turning around and facing your fears or facing your challenge. There is, especially if it's with a person, it's like, you know what, you're going to stand up for yourself here, because we do advocate for ourselves with the Seven of Wands, but we're not running away from anything. We're just dealing with some issues at hand, so that we can resolve them and we can move forward, right? And again, there's like a kind of a healing energy that's coming in here, and a little turning point in your astrological new year. It's like, what am I bringing forward with me, and what am I leaving behind? Because I want to be open to love, right? And, you know, we all have something, okay? But that Seven of Wands really does show that you are ready to rise into the spotlight, right? We're on the top of a mountain here with that Seven of Wands, and, you know, we're looking at the big picture, we're looking at the world around us, but, you know, we're feeling good, we're feeling fine, we're feeling, comfortable in our skin, and, we're not willing to necessarily compromise our own beliefs or our values and these kind of things. And we just know that if something's right, it's right. If something's not, that's okay. And something a little bit better will come along. So it's this air of confidence that's there. We've got the King of Wands here as well. Now, the King of Wands can certainly be used sitting in your own personal power, being confident, making the right choices, and not worrying about, not fretting about things. It's like, nope, this is my choice, thank you, and we're good with it, right? We're exuding confidence with this King of Wands. However, the King of Wands can also be a person that you are attracting towards you. He is in the upright, so this is a good thing, but he's filled with passion and charisma, and the King of Wands is, often, especially in the upright, right, is confident. They might be an entrepreneur. They might own their own business, right? They're very active, but they are also, filled with life, filled with energy, filled with this light, and they are very hard to resist. But with that King of Wands, they're a little bit more mature than they would be if they were, say, the Knight of Wands, right? Knight of Wands sometimes exudes a little bit of a player energy, right? It's like, it's all about the conquest. But the King of Wands is like, nope, I've had my fun, and I still want a partner that I can laugh with, that I can have adventures with, that I can, have fun times with, but also somebody who, who I can really connect with on many different levels, right? So it's a little bit more of a mature approach to love and romance, but no less virile, no less fun. So that's a really awesome connection there with that King of Wands. We also have the Two of Swords. Okay, so the Two of Swords can represent, the need to make some decisions, right? Do I want love? Do I not want love? Does this feel like the right person? Does this not feel like the right person, right? The Two of Swords is often where we do need to go within and trust our intuition to show us the right path, the right way, right? Especially if we doubt ourselves in any kind of way. But the Two of Swords also does remind you that not everything is black and white, and sometimes that we need to find a middle ground, right? Sometimes that Two of Swords, we get in a conundrum, we get in this yes or no scenario, and oftentimes there's this overlap in the middle. There's the hidden option, the hidden element there that we don't always quite see right away. So sometimes here, again, we need to see that, okay, is there something here with this connection? Is there something here between us that we can find a healthy middle ground, we can find a compromise on? Or is it strictly like a yes or no kind of thing? Is it a deal breaker, or is it something that I can get on board with? So really trusting your intuition is very highlighted with that Two of Swords. Okay, get out, have fun, meet people. You can attract some wonderful connections there, as shown by that King of Wands. All right, but trust yourself to make the right choice for you, whatever that looks like to you. The blessings headed your way, we've got, oh, beautiful, the Ten of Pentacles. Now, the Ten of Pentacles is abundance and prosperity, stability and security, and all these wonderful things. It is an awesome, awesome energy. Some of you could potentially meet somebody around your workplace or around your home, your neighborhood, through a family member, through a friend. But the Ten of Pentacles is the epitome of success. It is finding somebody that does have this sense of security around them, this sense of stability and a sense of long-term commitment. Okay, so that is your blessing. That is your superpower. Not only do you maybe have something that gets resolved with your money, with your finances, right? Especially if there's something still going on with an person there. Okay, this can be a resolution of that. Ten of Pentacles, everyone's happy. All right, but this can also be the type of person that you're attracting towards you, right? Is this one where they are, family is important, stability is important to them, and long-term commitment is important to them as well. It is in the upright, it is in a blessing position anyway, and it is a card that is filled with blessings. So this is really an awesome energy. This can also be you and your energy and where you're at throughout the month. You're feeling good. You're feeling like things are coming together. You're feeling like things are more solid and stable. When we feel that way, we're more inclined to open the doors for love and open the doors for people to come in, because we're not worried about a whole bunch of other things. And now we're just really stepping into that wonderful flow of the universe and getting ready to receive. Your advice from Spirit, the Nine of Swords: stop worrying about your love life, okay? Really put down that energy of anxiety and worry and, all these things, okay? And, society does put a lot of pressure on us to find love and to find partnerships and, and just start a family and all these kind of things, but it's not for everybody. And sometimes we're in a position where things may take a little bit longer, but let go of that energy of worrying about finding love, because that only creates more blocks and obstacles, right? When we're anxious, we're worried, we're afraid of things, we're over analyzing things, we're too much in our head and we're not enough in our heart, right? So we need to step into that heart space. We need to open up our heart a little bit. We need to allow the healing energy to flow, and we need to allow the love to flow, and that way the love can come in, right? So, it can be uncomfortable sometimes in social situations if you don't have a partner to go with, right? And you get peppered with all these questions and all this kind of stuff, right? But don't let anyone around you make you feel as though you're missing out on something, right? Because you have a lot of love to give. You've got a lot of wonderful qualities to offer, but ultimately all your happiness and your love starts within you. All right. So remember, things, divine timing may very much be at play. It always is in some way, right? We can't always see what's going on behind the scenes. So we just need to, kind of go with that flow and could be open to the possibilities. All right. Here is one of your final messages, and this is from Kuan Yin, Goddess Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion and love, the heart energy, and we've got the dance unveiling. There's a situation in your life that is about to reveal itself to you with greater clarity. Just like sand shifting, the picture will seem clearer and quite different to how it once appeared to you. This clarity will bring you great relief and confirmation of your intuition. Be patient and allow the revelation to come to you at the perfect time. There we go. Sums up a big part of your reading there. And there is your next message. And we have the Tao. The tail is always flowing, always nourishing life into creation, always presenting steps and solutions, and always reminding us that we are in the perfect moment. You are being guided to relax and allow life to flow. Feel the joy of release and wonder of how easy life can be when we let go of fear and control. I'll leave that there for you guys. I hope there was something here for you. If so, please do like, share, and subscribe. I thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic October. And of course, happy birthday to all of you with October birthdays. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.